Welcome back to True Colors. So now we're starting episode 4.
True Colors.
According to Pedro, this is where the game starts to show
Chapter
its true
4,
colors.
Flicker.
It's called Flicker. How fitting.
What Flicker? Like the dim.
So episode 4 starts about 5 minutes or so after the end of episode 3. So
So there's no time skip like the previous.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Okay.
There is a time skip, 5 minutes.
Well, whatever. The point is, and notice how she's going to get to Pike, aka the sheriff, to try to accuse Diane and Typhon and shit using the USB pen. Again, if you know anything about how legal matters work, you know that this is a bad idea. So. Yeah.
I'm guessing her plan is to show him what's on there before he questions how they got it.
But that's the thing, Joe, but he cannot, legally he cannot check that for evidence because it was obtained illicitly, like it was stolen, legally he cannot invade Diane's privacy just because Alex stole this thing. That's kind of hard.
Oh, true, yes, but if he doesn't know that it was stolen, again, my guess is that their plan is to show him what's on there before he starts to question, hey, wait a minute, how did you guys get there? Like, even if they get in trouble for it, if he sees the evidence on it, then he'll have probable cause to, at the very least, look into it.
Remember, Jova, Diane made it public on social media that her USB stick got stolen. So everybody in Haven already knows that. So when Alex shows up with the pen, Pike will know. So...
Okay, then I have to question, what's up with the scene where he's like, sure, bring it over, because unless he's, tricking her into coming knowing that it's stolen, it sounds like he's willing to give it a look.
Well, we'll see. For now, let's look at...
I might have guessed something there, I'm guessing. But regardless, fair enough.
Kia, RCT radio, blah, 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 and make sure to stick around and keep your eyes on the main stage. We have something special brewing, blah, blah, blah. Steph, huge shout out to everyone who helped out with the LARP. I think we really helped boost Ethan's spirits, even though we didn't, because the developers decided to throw in a sad bit at the end there that wasn't really unnecessary, like me and Shiri have said, so...
I think we can all agree that if they really had to have that sad scene, maybe have it be during the LARP, but then show that Alex helps Ethan power through, and then we end on the happy ending of the LARP being completed, at the very least, instead of having the LARP end that way. I mean, granted, I guess the way Steph says it, I wonder if only Alex and, what's his mother's name?
His mother.
What's Ethan's mother's name?
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. I think only Alex and Charlotte know about his breakdown. Again, where the hell was Jeb? Since I get it, artistically he vanished, but realistically, shouldn't he still be close enough to have heard that Ethan was breaking down? I know it's a little nitpick, but it really does add into how ham-fisted that scene of Ethan breaking down is.
That's kind of funny because earlier on in this playthrough, I think it was Pedro that was bringing up that realistic storytelling isn't always the best kind.
Writing specifically.
Realism,
yeah.
And Jova's trying to bring it into it now.
Well,
not necessarily.
Not really, Dibs. Like, okay. Yeah, again, you need to keep nuance in mind here.
Yeah, that's what I said, Dwebs. My actual quote is, realistic writing does not necessarily, keyword being necessarily, make your writing good. That doesn't mean you cannot, see, this is what I'm talking about how you seem to have an issue detecting the nuance of what people say, it seems.
Here's the deal. Realism is not always required, but there are some cases where it sure can help, let me put it like this. Yes, at their base, a lot of stories, typically in fiction, are meant to give you a sense of escapism.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are still variances of realism, ergo the concept of suspension of disbelief. The suspension of disbelief is how much you're willing to suspend your disbelief, ergo how much lack of realism you want in it. Example, a superhero comic. Yes, it allows you to believe that there are people with supernatural abilities. it does not automatically let you just forego all the laws of physics
Yeah.
and science.
Linkara himself said so in his JLA Act of God review. Suspension of disbelief does not mean you throw away all logic. It just means you believe there are supernatural / irrealistic things in the context of the world the writer is presenting, but that doesn't mean all rules are off. There's a very distinct difference between those two things.
Because if all rules are off, you essentially just get Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
And, well,
like if a story has no rules, then there is no tension because, I mean, like it's like the whole thing about characters being immortal. Like, let me. How about it? Here's an example from Twilight. Here's the reason why it's such a stupid decision to have a vampire in the side of good that can predict the future. If Alice can predict the future, that means that the good guys are always 10 steps ahead of the bad guys, so there's no tension. Like, we have no reason to fear for them.
hell, let's even look at this story as an example. If we just threw all realism out, then we could easily say, well, actually, Gabe should survive because gravity isn't really a thing in this reality.
That being said, to add to what Jova said, something can be an irrealistic portrayal of something while still capturing the essence of an idea, despite not portraying it necessarily realistically. A good example.
Ace Attorney.
Sure, that's another example. To give an even more outrageous example, that's like 100 Girlfriends, who is an anime that portrays a polyamorous relationship and does it in a way that's completely unrealistic. But like me and Shira have talked about, it understands the heart of the idea, so it doesn't need to, because it understands what that what makes polyamorous relationships perfectly fine and good. So it doesn't need to portray them in a like, it doesn't need to, like, it understands the concept and portrays it in a way that feels affectionate and heartfelt, and that's all it needs. It doesn't need to be 100% realistic for it to work.
100 Girlfriends is what I refer to as beautiful trash. And because it's trash does not mean it's bad. I refer to Mother's Basement with his anime trash compilations.
Yeah.
Said,
it's trash, but it's my trash, okay? I need you to understand this.
Yes.
Also, there's a difference between trash and garbage.
Yeah.
In this regard, like, see, 100 Girlfriends is kind of like a shit post.
Yeah, it is. Shirai says that too.
It is meant to be the most insane thing, but done in a way that lets you in on the joke, like keeps you entertained.
Jova.
In that regard.
I'm guessing you've already seen the anime so far, Jova. Just to give you an idea, Minshira recently read a chapter where girlfriend number 12 is trying to lecture two of her classmates for smoking cigarettes. And it's like, why don't you just read manga? That's a much better hobby for teenagers our age. Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea how many volumes of One Piece are out right now?
They know their audience.
And then it gets better. Then the next joke is, don't get me started on Young Jump comics. 100 Girlfriends volumes are more expensive than cigarettes, and yet they're even worse for your brain. So the manga.
Consume this manga continuously.
So the author himself. So the author himself calls it trash. So.
Basically, there's a happy aura on the drum.
Yeah. Basically, we're seeing memories of whoever trusts this drum. Don't worry, it's not particularly relevant.
But yeah, once I finish up with the anime, I'll probably start checking out the manga.
Merch.
Or maybe I'll even get to the manga prior.
Pedro has been showing me bits from the manga as he's been reading it, and it is insane.
Yes.
Deliciously insane. That's the thing. And every single bit. Just to give you another example, Jova. There's another moment that involves Karane once again in a fit of rage beating Renter over a misunderstanding, but then when she apologizes, she goes, "Don't worry, Karane, it's not your fault. It's the author who's messed up in the head." Like, so Rikito Nakamura knows exactly what he's doing, and he's just having a blast. But anyway, back to this. We're going way too off topic. Let's just get this going. Basically, Jed is happy.
Okay. Again, I know I may have called who the bad guy is, so I'll be coy here, but technically, couldn't Alex technically suss out the bad guy, assuming it's someone we've met by reading their mind/emotions? Like, I know it's technically read emotions, but it still is technically mind reading in that regard, so... I mean, assuming we have met the culprit, unless that culprit knows to hide those particular thoughts, like that certain bad guy from Dual Destinies does, but he has reason to know, unless the culprit knows about Alex's emotional powers, shouldn't they at some point, at any point that Alex was around, give off something that reads that? And I know, Alex has to peer deep into the mind sometimes to get it, but even still, she can sense the emotions, at least as far as what the story is shown.
So basically, in order to have this chapter not last only 20 minutes, I'm gonna partake in as many side stuff as I can.
Is the chapter really just this party?
If I just stick to the main story, yes.
Really? I thought it was...
I'm not kidding, Jova. If I wanted, I could just leave this party right now, go straight to the confession bit that starts the ship, like the love ship, right? And after that, I go to two more bits, and then the chapter ends.
But you know the weird thing? I thought the last chapter was hinting that we were going to go to the mines or something to look and see what may have been buried there. Though I guess, to be fair, that would probably be too dangerous to do.
Well, put a pin on that. Anyway, can I talk about the stupid jelly bean jar thing game? I've never understood this. Whoever invented this game is a fucking asshole. I'm sorry. Like, it's literally...
Guess how many jars are in there?
How many jelly beans are in the jar. Like, I never understood this game. Like, it's literally a 1 to million shot of you possibly guessing this thing. This is literally just a scam. I'm sorry. I just...
Okay. To be fair, these are usually used for contests, essentially. Like, usually the person who gets the number closest wins the prize, so I wouldn't call it so much a game as it is, like, you know, a contest of sorts, because, I mean, to be fair, it's the idea so that everyone has a fair shot of guessing what's in there or that regard, because if everybody could just immediately calculate, that would defeat the purpose of there being the prize.
Indeed.
Because it would pretty much just be the first person that came up.
Ask me how.
Indeed.
You guys
but that's
had
the
that
thing.
contest over in Portugal too?
Alright, well done, Alex. You've won the game because you guessed the. Okay.
No, I told him the answer. But anyway, by reading her thoughts.
Because it's gonna be like how I thought it was gonna be like in Harry Potter, the last one, where Voldemort has Snape killed because he thinks he's gonna get the older one, but since Nagini did it, it was good job the whole Malfoy thing happened, because otherwise I thought it would have belonged to Nagini,
right?
Not Voldemort.
Anyway, that's a thing, Jova. This is what you just have to guess the number of jelly beans. There's no consolation prize for getting close or anything. You either guess the number exactly and win, or you win nothing. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a scam. Like,
I mean, it's not like they're paying to
I
play
guess.
it, so I wouldn't really say it's a scam.
I guess. I just don't like the concept. To me, I just find it idiotic, honestly.
Also, Dwibs, what are you talking about? Nagini wielding the Elder One? It's not like she used to be a human or something.
Keep in mind, right now, what I'm doing is irrelevant side stuff. Because, again, if I stuck to the main story, we'd be halfway through right now, the chapter.
Can I just point out that line real quick before we move on?
Go on.
Like, how did she know? It was like, oh, a lifetime of emotional trauma. What does that have to do about guessing beans in a jar? What trauma is this?
Don't you see, Shiroi?
It can change people.
Well, okay. Well, actually, Shiroi.
Beans on toast or something?
Well,
a lot of Americans.
Well, actually, Shiroi, in this world, trauma gives you superpowers. Remember, the death of his father caused Daniel to get psychic powers. Okay, granted, we don't know why Max has time powers.
Was that the trauma of seeing the girl she loved get shot dead in a bathroom?
That is probably the reason. I mean, seeing someone die right in front of you is also traumatic. So yeah, so basically, should remember the idea of this franchise is that trauma gives you superpowers. So
Admittedly, we never get the full confirmation, but yeah, that's like probably the closest connecting factor we have as to why anyone has superpowers in this universe. Alex saw Chloe die, Daniel saw his dad die, both by gunshot at that.
Whereas Alex spent an entire childhood in the foster care system, which of course I don't have to explain what's wrong with that. Which here's the plot hole it creates though. By that logic, about 90% of the world population should have superpowers.
Try my best.
Like, I get it. Life is strange and they just happen to have powers, but I can't help but wonder, would it really hurt to explain where they got the powers from? I get it. Some people might argue, oh, well, it's better to have mystery. I'd argue that there are some points where explaining stuff is not that bad as people make it out to be.
Sure. To be fair, that would be, to be fair, by that logic, can't you also demand that the Toy Story movies explain why the toys are alive? I mean, sometimes you just have to go with the concept of the franchise, you know?
Well, Pedro, it would be nice if they didn't tease us with explaining why they're alive and just suddenly give that away. Isn't that right, Shiroi?
Okay, let me rephrase that. Let's pretend Toy Story 4 didn't happen.
Well, I can't because Toy Story 5 is coming.
God damn it, Disney. Anyway, you get my point, though. Let's think about as far as I'm concerned, there's only the original trilogy, and that's it. So,
that said, I do get what you mean. Like, not everything needs a super detailed explanation or whatnot. And I'll be fair, even though it might be nice to have an explanation, I guess Life is Strange doesn't need a super duper clean explanation on why they have these powers. You know, it's just, hey, you're a kid or young adult in this world with powers. That's more or less been the gimmick of this world. Now, the only problem is when they're inconsistent with the powers, but I digress.
Especially for me.
Mm-hmm. The Black Beast.
Well, Shiroi, how feisty and dangerous would you say this beast is? Oh.
They even looped you into participating, huh?
Great. All right. Let's look at more things, I guess. Man, this party's boring. I'm sorry, I just don't care much for this party, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, as a party, they're always boring.
Damn, really, Twibs?
To you, maybe. I get.
I'm not really much of a party person.
Well, that's fair,
have
but
all the parties you've been to been boring?
Well, whatever. Like
it's parties in general. I mean, there have been a couple that I've been to that I've enjoyed, but in general, I'm not really much of a party person. I more enjoy like small gatherings with friends.
By the way, Shira, did you catch?
Not really.
Did you catch that Valkyrie, aka
No,
Steph's?
I just got back.
Steph's cat is now called the Black Beast in this party. So, speaking of Steph, let's give her a rose because she's my ship for this playthrough. So let's go.
Also, I'm not really a pot person either.
Sure.
Is for you.
Like, I'll go for a little bit, but then like I'll probably leave after a couple of hours.
What I do is I have parties with my circle of friends, but that's all I do.
Dude, thank you so much.
I had a work party for Christmas, and yeah, I was only there for a couple of hours because it's just too much.
Hey,
Sure.
could we meet up after the show tonight? I actually have some pretty big news to share. She said mysteriously.
Of course.
Speaking of, Ryan should be done any minute. Meet me there?
Sure.
Sure, Steph. Alright, we'll conclude the shipping subplot later. For now, let's take a look at what else is going on. Someone posted
nice
something.
that you gave her a flower Fire Emblem style.
So we just gave Steph Orion a rose. The only thing left to do is explore the festival. KRCT Radio says it is a live music time, blah 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 blah.
Sounds like
Okay.
Ryan is
Wouldn't
ready
it be funny if that flower pretty much overrides any past decisions you've made, and that's just the ultimate decider of who's your love interest? It's like, imagine, oh, you've been romancing Steph, But then you give Ryan the flower, so clearly he's your one and only. Hideo Kojima, what are you doing here?
Isn't it nice to have a lead and a love interest with chemistry in one of these games? It's great, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, imagine.
I still think I still think the romance needed a bit more dedicated time to it than what we got. But fortunately, Erica Mori and I think it's Katie Benz, I forgot her name, the woman who plays Steph, they have really good chemistry, so they make up for it.
I think the main issue ties to just how short the overall game
They have more.
is.
They have more chemistry than. I'll argue they have more chemistry than.
We gave it a shot.
God.
Any of the
Max and
past
Chloe.
couples?
Dibs. Who was the actress who played Max? I forgot her name. Anna Tail. That's it. Anna Tail and
ice cream biz after all.
Anna Tail and God.
I'll also say that I find that Alex and Ryan. Yes, Tibbs?
Who played Chloe?
The woman who plays Aloy, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh,
Anyway.
fuck.
Anyway, I will say also, I feel like Alex and Ryan have good enough chemistry too. I know we didn't get to see
Ashley
it as
Birch.
much.
That's it.
Right, yeah. I know we didn't get to see it as. Wait, Ashley Birch. Wasn't she also in some Final Fantasy stuff too?
She might have been. She probably was an additional voice actor at some point, but I don't think she's played any major character in a Final Fantasy game yet. I don't think so, at least.
Oh, right. She was also Mel in Last of Us Part 2.
Yes.
And the Rutao twins and Steven Universe.
Well,
And okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn opened a lot of doors for her. That and Life is Strange, to be fair.
That it definitely did. Although, to be fair, she was in a good amount of stuff before that. Oh! She was the Quattro Queen in World of Final Fantasy before Horizon Zero Dawn.
Alright then. Okay then. That works.
Oh, yes, and she was Sarah in Final Fantasy 15.
Should I not have?
Oh, was she? Oh, she played Sarah. Oh, okay.
To try hard.
Okay then.
Maybe I didn't wear enough.
Aw,
Didn't know
I'll
that.
get the hang of this one day.
But yeah, like I was saying, I think the chemistry for Alex and Bo for love interest is pretty good. It is a shame that they don't have like a poly choice, because honestly, I could see those free gelling.
Okay, Ryan is waiting.
And that's one of that's actually a good point you bring up, Joe, because one of the complaint that I've also heard is that you only get to choose between Ryan and Steph. You don't get to choose you don't get a friendship option nor a poly option.
Truly. Seriously?
Which I guess you could technically say that you could go for just
Who else?
friendship in the previous Life is Strange. Well, no, actually, I still think whichever way you go, Max is still head over heels in love with Chloe, and Chloe is still head over heels in love with Rachel, and...
To be fair, in Life is Strange 1, we can have it so that they don't become a couple at the end.
We didn't
Okay,
want
wasn't
you to
there a
miss out.
male love interest that you can
Yes.
choose instead than that you go with?
Yes, the movie nerd kid.
How sad is it that we just remember him as movie nerd kid? Like,
Who
it
cares?
really...
Everyone's
Warren.
granted,
Anyway, just play
Yeah,
whatever
Warren, that's his
follow your
name.
lead.
Like, I know it probably was not their intention from the get-go, but... well, okay, to be fair, like, the game clearly cares more about Chloe than Warren. Like, she's the frickin'
We've
linchpin
never played
in
together before.
whether or not the town will survive, for crying out loud.
Alright, so time for a concert. I mean, this is no
This sucks.
daughter from Before the Storm, but it's okay, I guess. I still prefer... let's talk about the music. I don't think I've talked about the music yet. The music in this game is more akin to the first game. It's much more driven by acoustic guitars, just like the first game, which is fine. It fits the tone of the game. I don't particularly find it all that memorable like I did with the Life is Strange one. I still think Before the Storm has the best Life is Strange soundtrack. And once again, Alex sings in the subtitles. We've complained about this enough. I'm not going to complain about this anymore.
Yeah. Although I will say, it is. I'll admit, I do kind of get a little bit of a laugh imagining that these are just the lyrics Alex sings, and it's just singing that over and over.
Oh yeah, and Steph can play drums. Okay, sure.
Feels like I'm in a Fortnite band session.
When I'm a walking, I strut my stuff, and I'm so strung out. I'm high as a kite, and I
Again, at least
The only reason she sounds like she's having trouble pronouncing the words on this.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
to be fair, they are singing at a concert, and they're not exactly the most, for lack of a better term, social people in the world. So
that too.
I guess.
Erica
Yeah,
Moore, if I remember correctly.
there's the nuance you're looking for.
Very
Yes,
good.
well done,
Debs.
boys.
All right, that's it. Fade to black.
The concert only had one song. Boo!
Of course, we had the happy times before we get serious with the plotio.
And then an asteroid crashes into them.
Oh, hey Charlotte.
All
Still
right.
processing.
All right, so you might remember how we chose to not take away her anger with our powers and just allowed her to grieve naturally.
Oh no!
So
don't
let's see.
tell me if
I'm
you-
kind of scared about where this went.
No, sure, hold on. We can talk about it in the next part because it doesn't come full circle yet. But you get to see, this is a
Okay.
this is a perfectly fine scene. But not taking away her anger is something that the game considers the good choice, Shira, if it helps you.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
because I was trying pretty hard to be.
Although the
I
way
will.
you
It's what
made something
it's
sound
it's what
foreboding.
it's what comes after this, Shiroi, that I have a problem with. That makes the game
Oh,
that makes the
okay.
game that makes the game come across as hypocritical. Go on.
I was going to say, thank God, otherwise the game would have sent out the really concerning message of grieving won't help shit.
Well, I'll give them credit. Shows that they've learned from previous ventures, because that was one of the biggest problems I had with, well, yeah, pretty much every previous Life is Strange game having its messages very mixed up. So let me guess, if you did take away her anger, this scene feels more unnatural, I'm guessing?
Yeah, she's still like she would feel emotionless and say, "I can't do anything. I can't feel anything." So basically, by taking away her anger, you basically broke her emotions, kind of.
That is a good showing of how Alex's powers can cause damage.
So basically, the idea here is that, like, to allow her to grieve, and now that she's finally calmed down, now she's better.
And I will say, I do like how this scene is conducted. Even if something's going to maybe come along to ruin things later on.
I just wish.
Well, enjoy it for now.
I just wish they had made Charlotte a more interesting character, because we didn't really we barely spent any time with her for this to have much of an impact for me, honestly.
Again, I feel that a lot of the problem symptoms come from just how short the narrative is.
Yeah.
Again, like, if Life is Strange 2 was the game that padded things out to hell, this is the game
It's
that...
the opposite extreme.
Well, again,
Yeah.
and I get it. They want to avoid being over the length like Life is Strange 2.
They want
but-
to make sure things keep going, and again, they're trying super hard to make sure people don't accuse the game of committing the same mistakes as previous games, basically.
Which, to be fair, I guess for the most part it doesn't, even if that does come with some new issues of its own. And I get it. Life is Strange 2 was kind of a disaster. It sold well at first, but apparently by the end, its sales were petering out, and it was pretty much a laughingstock. Not just from the general gaming community, but from the Life is Strange fan base itself. Ergo, the people most likely to buy it. So I can get being scared of repeating the mistakes of that, even if you're a completely different company. But again, maybe they went a little too much in the opposite. Now, I will say, I'm still overall enjoying the story. There have been blemishes, but overall, I'd say the story is still good. I do, however, wish that there was more meat to it.
Although, to be fair, a lot of the media that I've seen over the years has come off of an unintentional message, like whether it was extreme so minor is just funny, or if it's really major it just impacts stuff. Like on the minor scale, Inception's basically told me, if you don't want your life to be altered, don't go to sleep.
Could try posting on
And like you
That's-
said,
Yeah,
Not really. Inception is more about accepting death and trying to grieve and overcome it. I don't know.
I think Luke's point is like, well, he kind of got an unintentional message off of how the movie works. But like you said, it's a more minor case, so it's not like it's one that ruins the movie for him or
Sure.
that's the truth.
Anyway, speaking of the side plots, so yeah, here's once again the couple who are secretly into each other, but they both of them think that the other one is not into them. So now this is the part where we finally intervene and push them into each other. So there it
So
goes.
this is like an anti-Kaguya-sama Love is War when you think about it.
Not really.
Love that anime.
That's nice of you.
I enjoyed it. It's pretty good. I don't think it's the masterpiece everybody says it is, though. But it's still better. It's still better than Oshinoko. I will give it that. And yes, I said that, everybody.
What anime are you talking about?
And yes, I said that, everybody. So feel free to send your hate comments to I don't give a fuck.
Oh, you're talking about the Idol anime, aren't you?
Yes. Remember, Oshinoko is done by Aka Kazaka, the author of Kaguya. So.
I will say, it's like I do love Kaguya-sama, but even I was surprised to just how much that anime is like beloved. Like you'd think it's one of the 8 wonders of the world tier of anime.
I don't want to get into a rant about Aka Kazaka. For now, let's just focus on this.
It's really sweet.
That idea doesn't bother you?
Us.
I like this dialogue. Like it feels real without forcing the realism into your face.
So there you go. So there you go. Basically, Alex said, "Oh, you guys make a nice couple," and that's what pushed one of them to finally say it. And there you go. So go out sometime.
By the way, Pedro, what was that you were saying about my point? I had to rush off and couldn't quite get what you were saying.
We already settled it. Don't worry.
Hold on. Let's wait for this to be over.
Okay, great.
All right, now let's read their emotions. There you go. Now they're both happy.
Aww.
Holy shit. Is this really happening?
I accept cash and checks.
But not card.
Oh my god. My heart's still pounding.
But she can't use a card, can she?
And that was the happy ending, ladies and gentlemen.
Again, like, more side content like that, please. Like, it's not much, but more of it could help flesh out the world and the powers usage by...
Yes, Alex, I understand, but I want to try to put some meat into this playthrough, so I need to do side stuff. So wait a bit, Alex.
Bad surprise.
I'm trying my best, guys, okay? Just...
No, we get it. You are certainly putting in that effort.
Nurse, she's adorable.
Like, even side stuff like this one that I don't particularly care about, but again, it's just so that this playthrough wouldn't be like 10 parts long.
It feels weird that I can make an entire part of Ace Attorney just talking to a character in a room, and that feels like it has more substance than this game.
Well, the thing about it, one thing we have to also remember about Ace Attorney games is that they're considerably cheaper to make, and therefore considerably easier to put in a lot more dialogue in those games compared to something like
That
this.
is fair.
Whereas this game, the entire game is voiced. There's a lot more. The animations are more expensive because the models are in 3D. I mean, yeah, the recent games are in 3D, but you get my point. Like the first 4 games were sprite-based, which made them a lot cheaper and easier and faster to produce. So they're entirely different beasts.
That is fair. And even the newer ones are technically handhelds.
And the new ones, the new ones take the Layton approach, where they only voice act the more important scenes. So.
Oh. Hey,
Riley.
what are you doing here?
Just taking a walk. I needed a breather from all that socializing.
Oh, there you go. See, Shiroi, it seems like you and Alex have a lot in common.
I was supposed to leave on the bus tonight.
I know.
So many hopes and dreams, all poured into one fucking bus ride.
Yeah, remember, she's giving up college because she wants to take care of Eleanor, so...
But it's okay. Nana needs me now.
I hope she's truly happy with her life.
I don't. This is fine, but I prefer this plot line when Anne of Green Gables did it because the characters were much more interesting there. In fact, hell, Larry is also redheaded, actually.
Huh.
She's
So
not Canadian though.
No.
Thanks, Alex.
Anne of Green
Hang
Gables
in there.
as a Life is Strange experience.
No, I can see that working fine, but it would need someone who's actually faithful. As long as you keep the creator of Anne of Any away from it, fine.
Wow,
Can we-
that
can we,
show really hurt you and Shiroi.
Can we have the? Can we have an alternate ending where Anne gets thrown in jail for attacking the kid with a blackboard?
Let me put it this way, Jova. Let me put it this way, Jova. There's this particular change to the story in the finale of season 1 of Anne of Any that caused Shiroi to revolt in disgust.
What happened? Did she like try to get Gilbert canceled or something?
No. In fact, I will argue it's more like the opposite. Like, they completely took away Gilbert's arc and made him super nice from the beginning, which kind of destroys the whole point of the character, but whatever.
Wait. He's super nice from the beginning, but if Anne still smashes his head in with the shock...
You figured that one. That's the thing, Jova. They want to change how the characters are, but they still want to have that scene because it's the most iconic scene from the book.
Okay.
And it wasn't even good.
Yeah.
Okay, so question.
Yeah,
If he's nice from the
was shit
beginning...
in the first.
So, if he's nice from the beginning, what causes Anne to smash his head in?
He starts teasing her out of nowhere, like, because again they need to have that scene in because they know that book fans would get angry if they didn't include that scene. So
Okay, so he teases her. He doesn't even yank on her pigtails.
Well,
He teases her.
Okay, let me put it this way, Jova. It's a bit hard to explain. Let me put it in simple terms. The way you're introduced to Gilbert, Jova, is a bully starts messing with Anne because she's walking to the school alone, and Gilbert saves her. Then he escorts her back to the school. He even opens the door for her, and it's just like, no. The very point of Gilbert is that he's a rotten kid who treats girls badly, and Anne is the one who breaks him out of that stupor. That's the whole point of the fucking chalkboard scene. Like,
Let me clarify. Him saving her and getting her in school safe. This is before she smashes the chalkboard over. And she smashes the chalkboard over the head of the boy who helped her just because he was teasing her.
Jova, if I
Has he
start,
been teasing her that badly?
Jova, if I started to explain to you everything that is wrong with N of NE, we'd be here all night. So
I'm guessing it's for reasons like that show apparently ain't getting the second season.
Was third season, wasn't it?
Not to sound like an asshole or anything, but like when she hits him on the head with the chalkboard in the anime, it's like a proper smash. In the live action show, she kind of just like meh and like just taps it on his head almost.
I mean, I
It's
guess
like, that's
okay.
pathetic. Like,
All right, okay. To be fair, in like when they were filming it, I can see why they want to do it that way, so they don't actually injure the actors.
well,
but on the other
yeah,
hand,
but there's like props that
editing
are made
exists.
specifically so that doesn't
yeah,
happen.
you can make a chalkboard that's made of like foam or something that would not hurt. Like, there are ways of getting around that.
Or hell, if you have to, CGI it. Like, as tacky as that would be,
I'm leaving.
don't half-ass
I'm
it.
actually
But I
leaving
digress.
Haven Springs.
Oh wait, you're leaving?
Back on the road again.
Wait, where's this coming from?
Yeah, this kind of comes out of nowhere.
I'm gonna play music again, Alex.
Did you hate it here?
No, she just decided all of. That's the thing. Again, this comes out of nowhere, and it's never been foreshadowed so far. I get that it's meant to be a surprise to you, like like you're supposed to be like Alex, and you're supposed to be surprised by this. But as you can see, Alex doesn't even sound that surprised. She kind of accepts this like almost instantly. So
Let me guess, this is the scene where you're supposed to confess your love, and that stops Stephanie from leaving.
You're my good
you have shit
no, it's more so that if you confess, you go with her.
Oh, so leave the
Well,
home that I
okay, never mind. Actually, never mind. No, you can. Yeah, it's dependent on the final choice of the game. The final choice of the game is whether you stay in Haven or you leave, and Steph will stay with you if you choose to stay as well. So never mind. Sorry, I'm getting my things mixed up. Sorry.
So what if you get together with Ryan? What's his reason for him wanting to leave?
I'll be honest with you, Jova. I've never actually went for the Ryan ship, and I saw it once on YouTube, but I don't even remember much from the Ryan ship because To be honest, I prefer Steph as a ship for this game, so I always pick her.
I'm guessing though, either way, it still is something that comes the flip out of nowhere just to add in that bout of, do I want to stay in Haven Springs or do I not?
Probably, but I'll have to go back and check, but I don't remember.
And look at that, another parallel to the first Life is Strange game. Granted, at least in this time, you don't have to decide if the town is destroyed or not, but it is kind of still about hey, do I want to still live here or do I want to abandon it? I mean, the thing is, though, I find even less reason to leave this town than in Arcadia Bay. Like, in Arcadia Bay, I still would have chosen that over Chloe, but at least in Arcadia Bay, I can get it that there was more messed up stuff there. Still is amazing that David is the other sole survivor of that place, but I digress. But here, the people have been pretty decent all around to us. Like, anyone who's been an asshole has had, at the very least, a good enough emotional reason for it, and one that we have helped out with, so...
Honestly, the only real problem is that I wish they had foreshadowed this decision from Steph, because this comes out of nowhere.
I'm guessing the reason it comes out of nowhere is because Ryan also has his own reason if you choose him, so I guess they figured, hey, to make it even, it's
so now you can choose to either hug her or kiss her. So let's do so. Oh, actually, here's the bit that I showed you before.
Oh.
So, guys, here's the question: what happens when two women kiss each other?
I already know this.
They kiss?
Well, let's see.
Oh, that's too basic, Jova.
Wait.
On her tippy toes.
Wait for it.
Short girlfriend.
What happens when you
Go on.
mix yellow with purple?
Wait for it.
Oh, right! Oh, God, I'm blinded! Honey, what the hell was that explosion?
True love.
A lesbian nuclear explosion, ladies and gentlemen.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of day, at this time of month, at this time of year, localized in this very village.
I understand what they're going for. You know, they're so happy that they're bursting with joy. I understand what they're doing. It's just it looks silly when you actually see it.
This is exactly what happens when me and Alice kiss. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
just blind people.
Okay. Yeah, so basically she wait, I haven't heard any stories of the whole city of Swansea being liked by love.
Alright, to be fair, this happens even when you kiss Ryan. So this is just, again, you can tell that the writer's intent is, oh, they're bursting with joy, therefore, boom, yellow explosion. I understand what you're going for, Zach, but at the same time, it looks silly in practice.
Like, okay, I'll let it pass because I do find it cute, but I will also agree that it is like DBZ silly.
This is the kind of silly I can get behind.
Same, yeah. Like, I mean,
yeah, I think it's cute.
Yeah, like, I mean, I can get behind the silly, but
oh,
I still
right, the plot.
Silly.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, shouldn't we have been getting to that by now, Alex? Priorities.
Babe, can I tell you something?
Alex, you have forgotten yourself, and you have forgotten me. You must take your place in the circle of life.
Alex, you must go to the Dagobah system.
Which is terrifying.
Remember who you are. You are my sister.
Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are, Kion. You are my grandson that was created as a fanfic self-insert character that isn't here and for some reason was never mentioned whatsoever in Lion King 2.
I guess now it's my turn for you to bring up something that hurts me. I mean, I haven't seen Lion Guard in its complete state, but I know.
Lion Guard is the ultimate example of a fanfic given a budget.
Hey kids, did you know that in between movies, Simba had this other son who was doing stuff that also happened to intertwine with that other tribe of lions from Lion King 2?
Not just that, what they do to Scar's back, what they do to Scar, like it's laughable. Like as someone who didn't care for the first movie to begin with, I just laughed my ass off. But at the same time, I was also shaking my head. What are you doing, you idiots? Do you have any idea how many fans of the first movie are going to turn against you with this? Yes, Sherry?
No, I was just going to say something about this real quick because the part's about to end. Unless I'm missing something between all this side stuff, Alex just said about a minute ago, I think I figured out who did this to you. And I was like, oh, would you mind sharing it with the rest of the class?
Yeah.
I know.
What did I miss?
Well, that might be. Well, okay, Sherry, that might be in the next part.
Yeah, but I feel like we should find out. I feel like we should have a decent idea at the same time Alex does.
Well,
Maybe not necessarily know.
Soon, won't we?
I feel like we're supposed to at least have a good idea at this point.
All
I'm
right.
not sure it means, like, typically in a game like this, you want to put the players in the shoes of the player character, but if Alex suddenly knows a detail pertaining to the very mystery that we don't know, like, it's okay if she hasn't revealed all of her backstory yet, like, that's typical affair, but if, like, she's like, oh, suddenly I have cracked the clue, and you have no idea, that feels like it legit came out of nowhere. Heck, I don't even know if she's right, given how, again, as somebody who may have guessed who the bad guy really is, I don't see what on that USB could have told her that. At least not from what the game showed us listening to her, unless there's a secret scene that we haven't seen yet.
Not to mention, Shiroy, as the next part will show you, she's actually lying when she says that, because she doesn't know yet.
She's kind of just wishful thinking, I guess, maybe is how the scene can be read. No?
Okay, I would have liked to find that out for myself in the game, but okay then.
I'm guessing that's just like trailer shot stuff.
I failed to realize how that spoils anything, Glips, but whatever. Alright, see you ready for the next part.
Take care.